Hey booze, hey, do your blankets feel like super glue in the morning? Well sis, it's time to shake them off. Welcome to Wake Up Happy Sis, the show that jumpstarts your day with a bang. We're strolling down these self-care streets as we navigate the maze of wellness and healing. We're helping you live happy, healed, and whole. And we do it all with a hearty dose of belly laughs for good measure. Stay tuned and get ready to wake up happy, sis. Hey boots, hey, it's your girl LeAnne Dolce, Chief Self-Love Officer over at Wake Up Happy Sis and your host of the Wake Up Happy Sis show. We are broadcasting today on KCCR The Brownstone and Brownstone Podcasting Network, where we are really changing the narrative for our people because we are always telling our stories our way. Now, are you ready to dive into the magic of self-love and discover the transformative power that it holds? This is a space where we elevate and celebrate Black women, prioritizing self-care and personal growth. It's time to wake up happy every day, happy, healed, and fulfilled. And we're here to unapologetically live our whole lives, baby. Our best lives. Like, what else is there to do, right? So today we have something truly special because I'm going to welcome my guest, Rhonda Walters of Rare Glow Salon. And we're just going to have a nice little heartfelt discussion. She's going to share some of her stories. I'm going to share some of mine. And if you want to jump on in and share some of your stories, you can too. So you can do that by joining the live. Let me put a little banner up here. Boom. If you want to join the live, you can join the live and tell us your stories. And we keep it real, raw, and honest here. So welcome my guest, Rhonda Walters, to the stage. Yay.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Rhonda Walters here, owner and founder of Rare Glow Organic Shea Products and Rare Glow Hair Salon.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about you and where's your salon located and your products and how'd you get started with all of that?
Well, I started, believe it or not, in high school, 1976. I took cosmetology in high school, half a day. My mom sort of encouraged me to go ahead and take cosmetology just to have something to fall back on. I knew I wanted to go to college in addition to that. So I went ahead in my junior and senior year, took cosmetology. When I graduated from high school, 1978, but right before I went to Illinois State, I ended up going ahead and get my license. And so I was a licensed cosmetologist all the way through college, worked my way through college doing hair. I probably was one of the richest, not rich. I just had money.
Look, you was balling. Look, you had money, right? You was balling in college, okay?
So everybody, I was in the hallway, I was in the bathroom, I did it somewhere, everywhere. And then I ended up moving into a salon. So I ended up probably all 4 years doing hair alongside getting my degree. But fast forward to got my degree in fashion merchandising and public relations, I realized I can make a greater impact on people by how doing their hair, because they would come into my salon and about ready to take a test, about ready to get married, about ready to, do something big. And it's almost like the way that their whole being changed by how they looked, how they felt, made a difference. So I guess I've spent most of my life for the last 45 years just uplifting women just to be their best selves and how they look. So that's why I'm still here. After all that time, I have to fall back on it. Imagine that. And then, full circle moment for me as far as the skincare part, I ended up at 55, about 7 years ago, having this really weird skin situation where I was like, wait a minute, I ain't having no acne and no teenager. What is this? It was all over my face. My face looked like a pizza. It was so embarrassing. And I decided, I didn't decide. I was using all the things that the dermatologist gave me. It wasn't working. One of my clients, the only one of my clients that actually mentioned to me, Rhonda, have you heard of Rothic and Black soap? She brought me a little piece when she came to get her hair done. Shout
Mm.
out to Barbara Walker. She gave me this little piece of raw vegan black soap. So I started washing my face with that, kind of mixed up a concoction with witch hazel and aloe and sprayed that on as my toner and kind of created this serum, this aromatherapy serum that I had just learned at a class I had taken at Bronner Brothers Hair Show. I whipped up this serum and started using that step one, step two, step three.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and lo and behold, after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, my face just started clearing up, just going back to basics, simple,
Mm-hmm.
plant based, not too chemicalized. and and then from there, my customers started noticing, like, whoa, they didn't say anything before when it was bad. Just like when it started clearing up, they're like,
Right, right.
what are you doing? And then I got really excited because I'm like, okay, I need to get some more of that black soap. And one of my customers had a stint, like 30-day stint in Sierra Leone. I'm like, oh,
Mm.
here, can you bring back a box of, or whatever you can find, of raw vegan black soap with shea butter in it? I'm thinking fused in with shea butter, because if shea butter was necessary, because by itself it could be pretty caustic. She brought me back a big box of shea butter, separate from the big box of African black soap. I
Mm-hmm.
so appreciated it. I whipped her up a batch of body butter, which I'd never made before, just because I wanted to thank her. She was like, "Oh my God, what is this?" I'm like, you got, remember the shea butter you gave me? I just kind of whipped it up.
Yeah, I just did a couple
Oh my God,
things.
you got to make this. So the rest, as they say, is history. So that's how I fused in that skincare part with the hair part. It all goes together. It's all beauty, head to toe. So yeah. So that's I've paid for my children, me along with my hubby of course, of 42 years. Two girls, two daughters, both attorneys. Radiance is a trademark attorney, and Reve is lead counsel for a real estate company. But I
Nice.
worked my way through college doing hair, helped to pay my kids. Huh?
Somebody is. I said
Somebody's in
they would
coming
ring
in.
my doorbell right now. It
Oh,
always happens.
come on
It
in.
100% always happens. Trying to see who it is. Oh, somebody dropping off something. But it always seems to happen when I do the show. Is when somebody want to come and knock on the door, which sets my dog into a frenzy. So, well, I think there's one thing that you said that was very important in there, is that really resonates with the show topic, is when people look good and
They
feel good.
feel
They
good.
feel good. And
Yes,
people think it's such a vain thing, but it isn't.
it
It's
is a
really about
matter of
integrity.
fact.
Yes. When
I
I
know
look
that.
good, let me put on something. I'm like, okay, then can nobody tell me anything? It boosts your mood, right?
It really
And
does.
it's so important. It's an important aspect of self-love, is to love what you see. And sometimes we do need a little bit of help, because we may be carrying extra weight that we're not used to having. We may have more scars or things that have come
Right.
into our lives in our later years. We may lose our
Exactly.
hair, whatever.
Right.
It's about learning how to love yourself and doing the things so that when you look in that mirror, you feel good, you look good.
Absolutely. And that is really, I guess you could say I'm the champion of that, because I it's time after time somebody comes in the salon, they're kind of all hunched over, kind of talking low. And then when they leave, their shoulders are back, their chest is out, they are like queen status. That for me consistently is, I feel like that's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here, to help lift, uplift.
Yes, definitely. I also am a certified product formulator, so that's where my business started. Is
Oh,
making products. So
okay.
that feeling you get, like I say, when your skin is just glowing, when you
Yes.
feel good inside and out, there's
Yes.
just, to me, those are the building blocks of self-love. That
Absolutely.
is such a cornerstone, a bedrock of self-care and of personal development is that self-love. And that's only going to
Absolutely.
come when you feel good about yourself, right?
Right.
Now that means we have to learn to love
You
the
got to love the
flaws.
good, the
We
bad,
got
and
to
the
love the
ugly.
good, bad, and all of
Trust
it,
me. Yes.
you know? So, but to me, that is a start, is looking good, looking your best, will help you feel your best,
Absolutely.
you know?
Absolutely.
And it also helps boost your self-confidence. Because can't
Yes.
nobody tell you nothing when you look good, get that new outfit, got your hair done, your makeup if you wear makeup. You
Yes.
just feel a whole different energy. You got a little
Yes.
different little pep in your step, a little glide in your stride, you know.
You just,
You
yeah.
got a little attitude when somebody touch you. Hey girl, how you like you be a whole different, be like, okay, I see you. But
That's the truth. That is the
it
truth.
just elevates you. Like you said, we're here
Yes.
to elevate and uplift and to
Yes.
make sure that women feel good about themselves,
Absolutely.
regardless of what you what that scale tells you, regardless of what society is telling you, regardless of what some of the people in your life are telling you.
Absolutely.
You have to love yourself first, you
That's
know.
right.
So, how do you think that self love contributes generally to just our overall happiness and well being?
Well, let's see. It contributes greatly. It really does. My screen is going all kinds of ways. Hold on.
Look, look, I told you whenever something can happen, it will. It will.
Okay.
Technology
Um,
always want to get in the middle.
where was I? It contributes greatly because it's essential. I'll never forget. I have a client who comes every Thursday. Bless her heart, and for years, same time, 4 o'clock Thursday. And she has always wanted to be married. She's in her 50s, and this hasn't happened yet for her. And I never forget her asking me, what do I think is the essential part that I need to do to get ready to be married? And I said to her, and she said, don't tell me now. I waited a week. And when she sat back in my chair, I said, you know what? You have to love yourself first.
Yep.
And for some reason, she broke down in the chair and cried for a good 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to hold on to her because that's essential. You got to
Yeah.
love yourself first before you can even project or think about anybody else.
Oh yes. And,
So,
and
yeah, that it's vital.
and I think that's a lot of people don't realize how hard that one statement is, though.
But I realized it at
You
that
know what I
moment
mean?
because I saw that. I saw the pain.
Because you don't know what people grew up with, the trauma. So part of what I do now is trying to encourage the healing of past trauma that has turned into part of our personality traits, characteristics, whatever you want to call it, right? It's
Right.
become a key part of who we are because we're in a survival mentality
Right.
instead of a thriving mentality. And I
That
want to
is
help
true.
women go from surviving to thriving. And self love is that foundation you have to start with.
Right.
I did a challenge, and one of the activities I had them do was to write a love letter to themselves.
Oh,
And and I had one person who came back. She came back to me a month later, and she was like, I want to thank you for that. She said, because I couldn't write that love letter in that moment. She said, because I don't love the version of myself that I am right now.
mm,
She said, I had to take that to therapy because most people don't even realize, right? They don't even realize that they have issues with self love until something forces them to look at it.
that's true.
And,
That
and
is
she was like,
true.
today I wrote that love letter to myself today. And she said, I just want to thank you.
Wow. Wow.
And
Wow. Wow.
it's
That
something, it's such a small thing, but it's such a big thing
it
at the
really
same
is.
time. So,
It,
I want people to come out of this realizing that don't feel like because you may not love yourself in this moment, you don't love this version of yourself, or you've been beat down by past trauma that told you you will never be shit, you ain't shit, nobody can ever love you. That may have been from a parent, it may have been from an abusive spouse. I'm here to tell you, baby, there are people who love you just as you are.
that's right.
And
That
you have to love you first. I love me more than anybody could ever love me,
got to. You got to.
because you show, through loving yourself, you show others how to love you.
That's true. That is so true. Yes.
And we have to be, and even if you don't feel it, I want you to look in that mirror every day and
Say it
tell
to
yourself,
yourself.
yes,
Say it to
I
yourself.
love you. I am worthy of love, whatever you have to say,
There's a
until you start
friend.
to believe it.
Yes, there's a friend of mine. She is such a good friend, but her thing is whenever she has a gathering, she has us all say this before we begin. He said, I want you all to look at yourself and say this: I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am enough. And that's what I call Lorraine, that woman. I'm
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, I'm worthy, and I'm enough. And if we see it
Yes.
over and over and over and over again, it becomes reality. It becomes the way you walk into the world.
Yes. And welcome, Sharonda.
Hey, Sheronda.
Good morning, ladies. Sorry for being tardy to the
We're
party,
going,
That's
but
it's okay.
I'm
We're just going to
here.
charge you 10 love points. That's it.
okay.
You got to love on yourself for 10 extra minutes today. Yes.
That's right.
Yes. So I think also one of the things I want to talk about is, especially from a societal expectation standpoint, right? It's so important for Black women to love themselves when sometimes it seems like nobody else loves us.
That's
We
true.
are constantly put at the bottom of the barrel, but have the most expectations placed on us.
Absolutely. And we
You
are the
can't,
brightest and the best in the
yes,
room.
and period, without question. We
That
are
part
the
right there.
foundations. We are the foundation of this world,
Yes.
period. But we're expected to always be happy. You can't be sad or mad or stand up for yourself, or you're that angry, attitudinal Black woman.
Right.
You are supposed to be 10 times better to be seen as average. And putting all that on our heads, so that, and sometimes setting us up specifically to fail, that's going
Yes.
to take a toll on our mentality, on our view of
Absolutely.
ourselves. So it's
Absolutely.
important that we kind of shore up our defenses and are always boosting our own version of ourselves, loving ourselves to wholeness is what I say.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because they're gonna try and kick us down every chance they can. But when you know your worth, when you know that you are the shit, excuse my language,
Yes.
We will not.
you you can't, when you know that, you will not, that's what you need, so that when they come for you, you're not going to be phased by it.
No, no,
You know how
no.
to work your way through it.
Exactly. And
So
nobody really has, that phrase where somebody says, what other people think of me is none of my business.
Absolutely.
amen to
Just
that
because
one.
you say whatever that, what? Just flip it off.
Let it roll off like rain.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, somebody else's perception of me is their
Is
problem.
Not my
Because if
business.
you don't love all this fabulousness, I don't know what's wrong with you.
What you really doing with your life?
Exactly.
That's
Like,
right. That's
so
right.
because I want us all to thrive. I want Black women especially to move out of that survival mode. We're so used to living in survival mode that we're stopping ourselves from living our best lives. Now, I'm not saying we're not accomplished, because we generally are. We are usually the most go-getters, you know.
Right.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the life that you're living is usually a little unbalanced. I'm focused on my we lost her. Hopefully she's coming back. I'm focused on my business, so my personal might be suffering. I'm focused on my professional might be suffering. I want us to be able to not even out, because to me, even is dead. I want us to be able to manage the fluctuations so that we're not in survival mode anymore, that we are really, truly in a place where we are thriving, where we have set boundaries. Because when I talk about self-love, it's overcoming self-doubt, it's embracing our worthiness, it's standing up for ourselves, setting those boundaries with our loved ones, with our co-workers, with everything. That one boss who always trying to get you to work overtime.
You don't want to pay you for it.
Right. That's against the law. But you want me here, you want me to be on call 24 hours a day.
We don't work for free over here. We don't work for free.
Damn sure don't. Mm-hmm. Right. What is the compensation for this extra work you want me to do, this all on callness? That's a part of self-love. Though setting those boundaries and letting people know what you will and will not accept. Mm-hmm. Right. And that comes first. First, you got to set the boundary with yourself. Let's start there. You have to set the boundary with yourself and understand your worth and what you will and will not accept. Because if you don't, you're going to keep accepting all the things that are thrown at you and living under somebody else's agenda. We're not doing that no more.
Because you teach people how to treat you.
That's right. That is so right.
Mm-hmm. If I see you don't care about working long hours and I'm not the best boss, come on over here and work all these extra hours for no money. Because there are bosses like that. Mm-hmm. That are going to take advantage of the fact that you may not be in the best headspace with yourself.
Because it benefits them.
Because it benefits them. You have people that look for people like that. Back where I'm from in the day, used to call them a mark. They're corporate marks. I'm here to tell the truth. I ain't here to say or spare nobody's feelings. We tell the truth over here.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
There are some employers who look for people like that. That's like when they get rid of the older workforce and they bring in younger people. Because why? Younger people are easier to mold because they're just coming into this industry. I can mold you into the employee I want you to be versus the person who's been there 20 years. They know more about the company than the owners because they've been through different areas of it. And they've got to a point to where I know my worth. I know you can't run this stuff without me. Or it's not going to run efficiently because I'm doing the work of 3 or 4 people. How many people have had that? I know I've been there.
Oh boy.
I know you've been there, Ron.
Yes, indeed.
And our self-love is what stops us from sometimes standing up for ourselves and saying, you know what? Something isn't right about this. I'm not going to. No, I can no longer be on call in the evenings. No, I can no longer just be on call and do this. No, I will not. Sometimes you could say no, thank you.
Yeah, that's easy.
No, thank you.
Be able to smile. No, thank you.
Right. I do not want that. I do not want that promotion that doesn't include a new title, new pay, but includes a whole lot more responsibilities. No, thank you. I'll stay over here in this one over here.
Because I'm good right where I'm at.
All the while I'm working to get somewhere else.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I remember having to shift my energy when I was not getting what I needed from that current employer instead of, you know, trying to get promoted within that organization. I shifted my energy to go to another organization to get the promotion and start fresh and press reset. So they were not for me. I was helping them mistreat me by them using my skills against me.
Where's the fan?
No way. We're
that's
not
a
doing
fan
that.
moment right
We're
there.
not doing that.
Baby.
We're not doing that.
How many times in the past have we helped people treat us bad? I want to talk about that for a minute, Sheronda, because that is such an important thing.
Let's talk
How
about
often have we helped somebody treat us bad? Giving them the keys. Here, these are all my triggers.
We don't even realize we're doing it.
Absolutely, Rhonda. Really?
No.
I had Tums in my desk. I let them make me cry at work.
No.
Do you hear me?
You see this? You see that? No, we're not. We're not doing that.
Absolutely. It was all I could do to stay there for my 52 weeks. Because you can't move without 52 weeks.
Now, Martina over here on LinkedIn said, have a healthy flow leads to thriving. Yes, it does. Self-love is a big part of it. To me, self-love is a reflection of God's love for us. He loves us. We got to love ourselves. That is so true.
Absolutely, Martina.
Well, Martina, we want to thank you because Martina shows up. Martina been showing up every week.
Martina is dragging ass because Martina need to be on this doggone podcast. That's what I
wasn't gonna say that.
But I read your mind, girl. I read your mind, Martina. You need to come on and quit playing, ma'am.
Martina, you can come on in because we got a live. You see that link over there, Martina? Well, let me see. Did it put it on? Okay, I'm gonna put it up on the screen because it looks like it's not sharing to LinkedIn. So she ain't get the link. See, that's the problem. She ain't get the link.
Oh, we gotta get the link.
Because Martina, you could come on in. Because Martina always come with some good.
Yes, she does.
Good stuff every show. Now, when we're talking also about helping people mistreat us, a lot of that is because we are dealing with feelings of self-doubt.
Yes.
We are questioning our worth in relation to whatever. It might be a relationship.
Right.
How many times have you said, or not even said or heard somebody say, I have to be in a relationship. I'm a relationship type. I need somebody who completes me. A person's job in a relationship is never to complete you.
No way.
You have to be complete. They have to be complete.
Right.
And then they come to accentuate.
Right.
That ain't even the right word, but we're going with it today. They come to accentuate my life. Because my life, I'm already perfect. As perfect as I'm gonna be. Perfectly imperfect is what I call myself. Because there is no perfect.
Right.
And if you're shooting for perfection, you will always fail. I shoot to be the best version of me that I can be. Yes. And I don't want nobody to fail thinking I've got to be perfect. I've got to, go to work 8 hours and then come home and still do all the house chores, take care of the kids, cook all the food. Because that's what a woman is supposed to do.
Nah.
That affects our feelings of worth. I'm not a good wife. I'm not a good mother because my kids eat cereal some days for breakfast and some days for lunch they eat a peanut butter sandwich. First of all, peanut butter sandwiches are awesome.
Peanut butter is good. I like peanut butter sandwiches.
Right. Hello, don't be sleeping on the peanut butter.
On toast with a little coconut oil on it. Oh my goodness! What?
Interesting. I don't know about
that. Is not your grandmother's peanut butter and jelly, Rhonda. We need to share some recipes.
That's right. Because she's talking about now toasted. Yes. If anybody has ever had peanut butter toast, now I may be a little different because I ate a lot of different little things. I used to eat mayonnaise sandwiches. Mayonnaise and mustard. I had to have mustard, which is weird now. I hate mayonnaise.
Don't forget about the shrimp sandwiches.
Where you from again?
I'm from Seattle, but my people is from the South. And we didn't always have all of everything. My mother died when I was young. So I was raised by my grandmother, my great grandmother.
Got
So
it.
they did the best they could do.
Right.
But if wasn't no meat in that, and wasn't no sandwich meat, I'm gonna go in there and make me a mayonnaise and mustard sandwich.
That's
I would
why I'm a
make toasted
vegetarian.
peanut
That's why
butter.
I'm vegetarian now, because I never liked meat. Anyone give me some,
I'm
mayonnaise sandwich.
I'm a hardcore carnivore girl.
Mm.
I call myself a flexitarian. I call myself a flexitarian. I can.
I'm a pescatarian, so I be
Okay. Now
sometimes
see,
vegan,
I'm not a big
vegetarian,
fish.
pescatarian.
I'm not big on seafood. And you would think that comes from Seattle. That really doesn't match. But I'm not. I don't eat shellfish at all.
Wow.
Every 5 or 6
Give me
years,
some
just to make sure it's still
give me
nasty.
give me some crab. I'm from Maryland. I live in Maryland, so I've got to have some crab.
You used to.
Absolutely, ma'am.
I'm from Seattle. I'm coastal too. You would think that I would know. I don't do none of that. I don't drink coffee. They'd be like, "Where are you from?" You're like,
what?
I'm an alien.
She's an alien.
Right.
She's not from around these parts.
I'm from my own place called LeAnne Town. And in LeAnne Town, I'm the mayor.
And where is this state? What state is LeAnne Town in?
It's in Dolce state. Dolceville is the state. Dolce Layville. We're a newly formed state.
Oh, okay.
We are going to be how many states we got?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna be the next one. My own, right here. It's a state in the middle of Georgia.
Okay.
It's going. Okay. I'm working on it.
You're so silly.
But I mean, but you know what? I wasn't always this confident in love with me, right?
Wow.
Yes.
I had self-doubt like everybody else. I used to weigh almost 300 pounds, but I was still I didn't, even when I weighed almost 300 pounds, I was still confident. You can tell me I wasn't.
Yes.
Right. But there have been things that have shook my confidence. I haven't always been confident in myself. I've doubted myself when it came to my intelligence a lot.
Wow.
Right? Now I pick up on technology and new things relatively easy. But there have been times when I go into a room, I'm an ambivert, so I'm an extroverted introvert. Most people don't think that.
Is that what it's called? An ambivert?
Okay. An ambivert. If you are an extrovert,
in LeAnne, they make up their own words and stuff.
That is a real
right.
First of all, it's a real word. It's a real word. An ambivert is a real word. It is somebody who is a natural introvert, but they have extroverted tendencies. I can be an extrovert at times. I've spoken to audiences of thousands. I'm shaking before I do it. Sometimes,
of course, but that's natural.
Yeah. I'm more reflective. I like to sit back and watch. I really don't want to be the center of attention. I want to come in and watch and see what people are doing, but I want to be in charge, but in the background. I don't want to be the front person. I just want to run everything from back.
Lead from the rear.
That's it. But I know me, and I've had to learn to love me through weight ups and downs, through being dark skinned and being told I'm not really that dark. I was like, first of all, what you're not going to take from me is that I'm chocolate. Now I'm dark. This is my summer dark. So I'm looking extra chocolatey goodness here. But, in the winter, they be like, you really aren't dark skinned. I will fight you. What you got to go do is tell me I'm not dark skinned. I am not brown skinned.
Because she identifies as what she identifies as.
I identify as dark. I identify as dark. Thank you very much. So let me ask y'all this, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want each of you maybe share a time that you struggled with self-doubt, right? Struggled with worth issues, and how did you pull yourself out of it? But first, we got to do a little bit of station identification. You are watching Wake Up Happy Sis Show on KCCR The Brownstone and the Brownstone Podcasting Network, where we are changing the narrative for our people because we're always here to tell our stories our way. Because if we don't, 50 years, 60 years, whatever from now, we can't be mad at the stories that are being told about us. We have to drive the narrative. So let's listen to this commercial. We've got a cruise coming up in 2024, Brownstone Worldwide. So, y'all just come on, get in on this commercial.
Ready to swap your daily grind for some ocean waves and sunshine? Then join Brownstone Worldwide for the ultimate neighbors retreat aboard Celebrity Cruises. From July 21st through the 27th of 2024, get ready to make waves and unforgettable memories. Our all-inclusive package features plush rooms, drinks on us, complimentary Wi-Fi, and yes, even tips are taken care of. Bask in live entertainment, exciting contests, and be a part of the live tapings of Brownstone podcast shows. Venture beyond the ship with shore excursions to the stunning Key West, Bimini, Bahamas, and Georgetown, Grand Cayman. But here's the catch. These rooms are selling out like hotcakes right now. So don't miss the chance to rub elbows with your favorite Brownstone Air personalities and meet your neighbors in an unforgettable setting. So what are you waiting for? Secure your spot on this epic journey today.
And I believe the Key West location was changed for like Cozumel, Mexico or something. So this is going to be a good cruise. Y'all need to come on in, check it out. Now back to my question. Do you have a time, or you can share a time where you actually really suffered with self-doubt, feelings of lack of self-worth, and how did you pull yourself out of that? Either one of y'all go first.
I'll go.
Okay.
I guess for me, I was always the one that was bullied because I was one of those turn the other cheek, turn the other cheek, turn the other cheek. I mean, I grew up
Wait,
in church.
Rhonda, how many cheeks you got?
I got none
She
left.
didn't turn about 3 or 4 cheeks. She didn't turn about
She
3 or
got some
4 cheeks.
extra ones.
I ain't got no extra cheeks. But
Are you sure?
Huh?
Are you sure you don't have no extra cheeks? Cause
Probably back here. Anyway, I digress. Anywho, and this went on like all grade school. I grew up in the projects. I would ride my bike around all summer, all long. People would push me over on my bike. I mean, I was that one. I got on the bus. People would just hit me in one face or hit me in my chest. All kinds of things. But I'll never forget this moment. I was in the 8th grade. This boy named Michael Russell thought he could come up and feel my butt. That did it for me. I slapped him. I never hit back. Remember, I turned all these cheeks till he touched my cheek. And then he was like, okay, meet me after school. I'm like, okay. What boy gonna fight a girl? I was ready to meet him after school. I had it.
Too much.
After school came, that boy was nowhere to be found.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was like one of the first aha moments. Like, wait a minute, why am I letting these people do whatever what am I doing? And this was in literally middle school. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty pivotal for me. That was a life changer.
And I love that because people are always going to try to scare us, to hurt us, to whatever. We got to stand up for ourselves. We got to be like, you know what?
We're not doing this.
We're not doing this.
Yeah. I'm glad you asked that question, LeAnne, because it was at that same job that I had the tomes in my desk. And so it was actually supposed to be in the federal system, you get to automatically move up. If you start at, let's say, a GS9, a General Service 9, then the next step, your promotion, comes automatically. Well, that supervisor was like, oh no, constantly was like, oh no, you're not getting your GS11, which was yes, you're not getting it, and I'm gonna make sure that you go into a lateral position and blah blah blah. I was like, so you're busy. She was hard with it. You are not going to get promoted. You're not going to. Oh yeah. So remember, I was telling you about that energy shift. I'm over here spending some quality time with USA Jobs, over here looking and applying.
Of course.
I got my promotion, but it was at another doggone another entity. And when she came back, because she was traveling for work, I was her whipping post. She came back, my cubicle was so damn clean. It was so damn clean. She's like, "Where's Sheronda? Where's Sheronda?" My girlfriend was like, "Oh, she got her 11 and she moved." Oh, I wish I could have seen the look on her face. I wish I could.
Look on her. Did you get that? I would have been right there to see that.
Girl, the Lord knew what he was doing by
absolutely
me up at that place.
Yes.
And so she was constantly, and all of it happened at my 6-month mark because we had a conversation. It was she and I in her office, and she asked me what was wrong. In my mind, if you ask me, you must want me to tell you what the fuck is going on here. And I did.
Don't ask if you don't want to know.
Girl, and ever since then, my dog, I went from sugar to shit on a fast down slope. Do you hear me? That's when she started with me about you're not going to get promoted. And I've never heard that. Nobody's ever told me. No, you've never asked before. Somebody somewhere should have told you you wasn't shit as a manager. And because they didn't, I get this version of you because she asked me and I told her. And ever since then, I'm like, if you don't want to know, don't ask me because I will tell you. And so, she came hard with it every day after that, trying to tear me down. And I just was like, okay, so I'm not here for this.
How miserable should a person be, though, to really take that energy to do that? Like, they have got
because hurt people, Rhonda. That's why.
Period. But to me, that's like, sis, you need to do some healing. Like, you really need
some major retooling. She needs somebody to give her a hug. I think that's it. Because somewhere down the line, you just don't keep just other people.
Every day, she was definitely made differently. Her parts wasn't put in the right place.
No, but she needs.
She may not have been hugged enough as a child.
That might have been.
I'm a big.
In your being, who does that? Like, who does that?
Well, she was such a appeal for a boss. She had 2 daughters that was living in other corners of the world to get away from her. Now, if her own children don't want to be in her presence, it was like that. It was like that. So I wish I could have been a fly on the wall to see that face when she realized that her tricks didn't work. And I got my promotion.
Evil does not win. I'm sorry, it just doesn't.
We can't.
It's not how the energy works. It doesn't work that way. No.
Well, she tried it.
Well, I wonder what she's doing now. Where's she at?
If I cared to contact some of my friends that's still at that same doggone organization to even inquire, then maybe I might have an answer for you. Maybe. But again, I have to care enough.
I know.
But I don't. I got other things to care about.
No, she ain't getting that much energy.
No.
But I think of those things too, because I know when I used to work for a major telecom company, and I've told the story on the other episodes, but they had a new VP that came in, and his announcement was, we're getting rid of low performers. Now, this was a new group that started. You already know this is going somewhere bad. This was a new group that started, okay? And he said, okay, new VP in here, we are getting rid of low performers. Now, my manager, who was new at being a manager, was 3 months late on doing my mid-year review. We're not going to talk about that. But when I got my mid-year review, it was a 2 out of 5. I ain't even a C-level. Okay. At that point, I knew I was the one being targeted because I was supposed to become a part-time trainer on the national level, but I'm a low performer. I wrote all the training materials. I wrote
around the space
and conducted the training. I wrote all the policies and procedures for this new group, but I'm a low performer. And long story short, I moved to another company with a $15,000 raise. He got demoted. He ended up getting demoted. And it was, yeah. Come on in, Martina. Let me send Martina a little link.
Here she come. Yes.
Let me send Martina a little link. She said, come on in the room. Come on in the room with us, Martina.
She got something to say.
But what I will say is, when I first got that 2 out of 5, it shook me. I was like, have I been slacking off? The first thing you do is question yourself. And I took it to the manager. She was a lead, but they were grooming her to be the new manager. I just trained her.
Who you trained, right?
Who I trained. So you know everything that I know. You know my skills. I said, I need you to read this and tell me, is this me? From your perception. She was like, they're trying to get rid of you. She said, they're trying to get rid of you. She said, that's what this says. She said, because it ain't you. And had I let my inner hater, his name is Ricky Bobby. You got to name your hater so you can tell him to shut up.
Ricky Bobby, that sounds
his name is Ricky Bobby. You know, I don't even know what movie that's from. It's from a movie.
Talladega Nights.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, Talladega Nights. And his name, now, all I know is that he's a hot mess in that movie. And
I know.
The funny thing is, I've never seen the movie. I've seen snippets of it, and I know he's a mess.
Ricky Bobby,
that's where Ricky Bobby came from, because Ricky Bobby is the mess who tries to.
That's funny.
I don't know what the string yard is not hearing. Okay, hold up, sister.
Your inner hater.
I was like, but that inner hater, had I listened, I would have went for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would have went for it. Even if you got to go and take it to somebody else who can give you an impartial view of yourself, not somebody who's just going to be a yes person, but somebody who is going to honestly tell you this might be a little bit of you.
Yes.
But my friend was like, this is not you. This is not you.
So isn't that weird how we have to have that come from somebody outside of ourselves and trusting ourselves? Like, I know he ain't talking to me. I know he ain't talking to me.
Martina.
Hello. Good morning.
Welcome, ma'am. Welcome.
So tell us a little bit about you, Martina.
Actually, I don't know if you remember, LeAnne. We worked together many years ago with Nesby.
I do.
Yeah, and I was just like perusing LinkedIn one day a few weeks ago, and I was like, "Ooh, this sounds nice." So I was like, "I have to join," and I was like, "My work meeting on Mondays is at 10:30." So I was like, "This is perfect for my workflow routine." And I just was like, I really enjoy it. And what I do now is that I'm a science communicator, and I use science to tell stories. And I also use science to engage younger people in science. And if you asked me what I would be doing 10 years ago, I would not thought I would be doing this, because I was like, God, I don't even know if I like stuff like that. I don't even know if I like working with kids like that. And I tried a lot of other things. And then God would just show me, okay, Martina, this is like what you were called to do. And it is a good balance of being creative and also like using science. And I just love it. And then now I'm in a transitional phase. I just moved, and I'm looking for my next position because this is a fellowship. And I definitely agree with all y'all was saying about, thriving. I had a lot of therapy, and I'm like thriving now. And like I said, everything is about, self-love, self-awareness. And that's something that I have not been taught. And I'm just so grateful to have this podcast and to be on it.
Man, Martina, that's Black woman magic with science.
See, scientific Black girl magic. Yes.
Awesome.
Go, child. Go.
And I wrote something for Sister. It's called "We Need More Black Girl Magic on Our Screens." And I talked about how representation is important, and how when I was growing up, I didn't see people that looked like me. And I guess that's why I'm so vocal about like, okay, we need to have representation. And it's not just like a buzzword that we throw out, but it's something that we really have to do.
Wow, Martina.
Now I will 100% agree with that. And that fits perfectly into where we are now too. Because if I don't see myself in positions of power, if I don't see or see somebody that looks like me, how can I see myself in that position? Right? When you've never seen Black leadership, Black excellence, Black women doing those things, sometimes you do think, oh, I could never do that. There's not been a person that I've seen that done it. Well, maybe sometimes you're called to be the first,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
the Most High will show us. Like you
And
said, you didn't think this was the path you were going to go,
Mm.
right? And
Right.
you're thriving in it. And can I just put a pitch in for getting professional help, having a therapist, going to see someone when you don't feel right?
Yes.
It is okay. I know in a lot of Black
Yes.
households, we were taught
yes,
what happens in this family stays in this family. What happens in our house stays in our house.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That is the way that keeps us survival mode. It keeps us in that pain and that trauma. We're not doing that anymore. That's
No.
nope,
done.
we don't
Mm-mm.
do
We are
that.
getting the help that we need so that we can live our best, happy, healed, and fulfilled lives.
That's right.
Yes,
And self-love is the foundation of that.
yes.
So I want to talk a little bit. So this is what I'm asking of you guys. Do you have one or two tips for someone who may be struggling with self-love, self-worth, to help them just kind of move us a step closer to loving themselves?
I got one or two. Trust yourself. Just because somebody says that you're not enough does not mean that is the truth. You are enough where you are right now. Do not feed into the madness because you are made perfectly. God made you this way for a reason. You're enough. You're more than enough. And so when somebody comes against that train of thinking, just shut it down right away because you already know who you belong to and whose you are.
That's it.
So
That's it.
anybody,
Yes.
he is for you. Nobody can be against you.
That's right.
Yes.
And I'm going to
I was talking
piggyback
to
on
myself. I couldn't have been talking to y'all, right? I was talking to myself.
No, but I'm going to piggyback on that is when you know whose you are, it doesn't matter what anybody else says.
Absolutely.
Amen.
And the other big thing that I think I want to just say out loud is whatever it is that's got you in that space, love yourself, but also forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
yourself, forgive yourself,
Yes.
and move on.
But I would add, like, what helped me is like I've always been a journaler since I was a kid, and I didn't even know like I was just doing it. And then like fast forward many years into adulthood, I had lost like journaling because life. And then I found my way back to me, and I like journal very intentionally and very different now. And then also being in touch with your emotions and feelings. Where I was raised where like, oh, you don't talk about that. Or like I was the one where you were like the strong one. You're the one that you all good. We don't gotta check on you. And then I was noticing like what is up with that? And I remember a therapist pointed out, oh, Martina, you're like an elder. And you were like an elder as a kid. And I was like, oh, that's not great. And we can't rewrite our childhoods, but also like different things that happen to us. Yes, it shapes us and informs us, but it does not have to be the identity that we have for ourselves. Like I learned that the identity I had might have been survivor, but that's a part of me, but that's not who I am exactly, and that I transitioned to thriver. And then also as I was thriving, some people in my family and close to me, they started picking up different things that I was doing and saying, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I had to do a lot of work, and I don't know if you want to do it, but you got to do for you." And once you start doing for you and having self compassion and saying, "Okay, this is going to be worth it," it's just going to be the best thing you could have ever did for yourself. And even in the hurt and the pain, I'm like so grateful to God that I went through that because it made me better. And then now I can inspire young middle school Black girls. And I'm
Yeah.
talking to some on Wednesday. So, yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead, Martina.
Very
Thank
And what
you.
I would add to that is practice gratitude. Wake up every day and write down 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for. Or you can end your day with 2 or 3 things that you're grateful for. Gratitude is such a big thing. We don't even realize sometimes how great that will make you feel. And you realize that, you know what? Life may be lifing, but I still have amazing things that I can be grateful for.
Yes, indeed.
And give yourself some grace.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that starts with forgiving the people who have hurt you. You have to forgive them. Now, I'm not saying they get the opportunity to be back in your life. They get a second opportunity to hurt you. Forgiveness is for you. It is not for them.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You can let go of the pain and the hurt and the trauma and the triggers
Yes.
to try to heal.
Yes.
Healing is a lifelong thing because there's always going to be something that can trigger you instantly back into that old feeling.
Mm.
But healing is what helps you realize I'm not her anymore. I've told that little girl inside that I am sorry that she was hurt and that she didn't feel protected, but she is now.
Yes.
Right? And that's when you give yourself grace and realize a lot of the things that happened to you were never your fault.
Right.
Mm.
And you have to give yourself grace and forgive yourself for even thinking that, for letting your life be turned upside down. And you got to let go of that pain. And even if it was your mama's fault, your daddy's fault, you're an adult now and you have the gift of control of your life. As much of it as we can control, because life is still going to life.
Right.
But we get to choose how we respond to all the stimuli that comes at us, to all the challenges, to the good and the bad. And so I would say all these things together and setting boundaries, baby, once you start setting them boundaries and then people start falling off, let them go.
Yes.
Stop trying to hold on to people that God has been trying to remove from your life for years. That's my last tip. Because sometimes we
That
try
was the
so hard
word.
to hold on to them. We be trying to hold them.
You be like,
And trying to let them go.
let it go.
The doors of the church of Wake Up Happy Sis are open, ma'am.
Pass the collection plate. Pass the collection plate. Because we're here.
She said what she said, y'all.
Say what you say.
And meant every word.
And also, I would like to add is like what I learned is that you have to be okay with being a pioneer. Because a lot of us, I imagine, are like, I remember reading a book where it was talking, I think it was by Elaine, where she was like, no, or Shonda Rhimes, FOD, first, only different. So a lot of us could be like first generation, or a lot of poverty line, and you like, okay, I don't want that type of lifestyle, but then you don't have like a pathway to do it. And then sometimes it's disheartening because you're like, I don't have a pathway. How am I going to do it? And I thought that for a long time. But as I got older, I started, growing and healing. And I was like, okay, I don't have to know the pathway. It's about, coming to God, coming to myself. And God in Jeremiah says, for I know the plans I have for you. And then also in Habakkuk it says, write down your vision and make it clear on tablets. So vision boards, prayer boards, saying all the stuff you really want to do, you have to make it clear. And
Yes.
you're just not gonna know when it's gonna come, but God is gonna come when it's gonna come. And you're gonna be like, wow, God, thank you. And that's how I feel right now. I'm like, okay, God, thank you. Thank you all the times where I did not know. And thank you now that I understand.
Yes.
Yes, because sometimes he's clearing the way for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're talking about you don't know the path. You are the one who is going to be the first one. He is clearing the way step by step. Sometimes we're so focused on what's 40 steps down when you need to be focused on what's these first 2, 3 steps in front of me. When you
Right.
focus on them, soon you all the way down there and you don't even realize how fast you got there,
Right.
right?
Right.
Sometimes, like Martina said, I think that is so great. You are the one who is going to forge that path. And it's not going to be easy. You're going to have trials, tribulations, and every challenge thrown at you. But we are built for this. And sometimes you have to, who was at this? Lauren Hill said, we want to be used by God, but only the glorious things. She says, sometimes to be used by God, you got to be kicked, humiliated, hurt, because that testimony is what's going to help somebody else who's been through that same thing. You don't understand beauty if you ain't never had pain in your life. If we had never gone through any pain, would we really know how to appreciate great things when they are in our midst?
That's the truth. Yes.
That's why I don't believe in utopia. A utopia could never exist. It would implode.
Right.
Because we would never believe it. It's too happy.
Yeah.
I can't live my life on pins and needles waiting for the other shoe to drop because it's too good. There's always going to be challenges, but we have to know and have that self-love and the fortitude and that knowledge of self that's going to take us through every challenge.
Yes.
Every challenge. And if you can't do it by yourself, you don't have to. You got people around you. There are professionals, your tribe. And if your tribe is shady, get a new tribe.
Yes. Yes, definitely. In a book, I was recommended like 2 books by my Black women therapist. It was like Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, and The Power of the
Yes.
Subconscious Mind. And that is very true because I think, well, at least how I was raised, it was very fear based. And that's not the healthiest. You know, when I understand, it's just like, of course, you're going to have fear, but if we just let fear control, we will not do anything. And innovators, business owners, people have that fear and it sparks creativity and it sparks innovation, you
Right.
know. And then also like with your mind is about you gotta pay attention to like what you listen to, who you watch, the people you surround yourself with. If you don't have people that you like live with that are not like the best, you have to really push forward to say, okay, how can I make sure I'm not subconsciously injecting negativity? Like you really, really have to. And it definitely is important for like the super young people out there because like with social media, and I know like some people it's just like negative, negative, negative. And then you like, well, I want that and I want that. And I'm like, never say you want someone's life. You don't know what they had to do to get to that lifestyle or that life.
Absolutely.
Like, and what God has for you is for you. And I know it's
Yep.
Right.
challenging, but just find like your tribe. Like find it could be your in-person tribe, but find like your digital tribe. Like this tribe right here, randomly a few weeks ago, I was like, okay, this sounds good. You know, and now I'm randomly on the podcast today. So it's just like you gotta say you're gonna be proactive and things will happen to you. If you believe that things will happen to you, well, they will happen.
Yes, I agree. Now, as we close out, thank you for listening, Crystal. That's my friend
Crystal?
down there. Thank you for listening. As we close out, I want to thank you, Martina, for dropping in with us. You're welcome to come back anytime
Thank
because
you.
we're going to be here every
Absolutely.
Monday. We're going to be here every Monday. So you're welcome to come back and chill with us on any of our topics. And Rhonda, thank you
Yes,
for
Thank you.
ma'am.
tapping in.
Thank
Let the people know, Rhonda, where they can find you. And if you have anything special, fancy, or whatever coming
Well,
up.
I kind of do. I have a really big event coming up this weekend in Baltimore. It's called the
Ooh.
Vegan Soul Fest. It's all things vegan food, skincare. They've got musicians and performers. It's going to be this Saturday, 12 to 8, and this Sunday, 12 to 7 in Baltimore, Vegan Soul Fest. Please, please, please come out and hang out and have good time. You don't have to be vegan to come. You'd be surprised though the goodness of vegan food and other all kinds of. And my skincare is vegan, completely vegan. Also, follow me at Rare Gaucher on Instagram, Facebook, and shop with me at rareglow.com for all my skincare beauty. So yeah, that's me.
Now, if I was in Baltimore, I would definitely be.
And I'm born and raised and from Baltimore.
Oh, okay. See,
And I'm vegan. And I'm vegan.
Woo! Where do you live?
I live in Baltimore. I just moved to
Oh
like
my
the
goodness! I'm gonna look for you. I'm gonna
city
be all
part.
purple. Everything's purple.
Oh,
so yes, make sure you go out there, Martina.
Yes, Martina.
Get a picture and send it to me.
Purple hair, purple packaging. Look for me.
Ooh, see, purple, my favorite color too. I love it.
Mine
It's
too. And I
it's
realized
very regal.
the purple was, I love Prince. That's the number one thing. But the
Woo-hoo!
other thing is purple. One of the biggest organizations I donate to is domestic violence, and it's purple. But it's like a trigger. Just something reminded me that I witnessed my mom at 2 years old be kicked to the ground by my father.
Jesus.
On the gravel, and it's like it goes and it comes, and then it's like, oh, that's why this is so important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why the purple, the other part of the purple is there.
Yes.
So yeah.
Sheronda, tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
Well, if you need your books taken care of so you can run your business, give me a call.
I'm gonna give you a call. What do you have?
Please do.
I'll connect y'all on Messenger.
Okay.
Oh, please, because
Your business is your business, but my business is your books.
Yeah.
So you can find me at bookkeepingforlife.com. My business is Bookkeeping 101 LLC. I'm on all social platforms, and I'm here to help. So you can focus on your business.
Yes.
Oh, good. This
was
divine.
Yeah, look. Better go home and talk to them. Now, if
We're just doing what we do.
Get the best in self-care and wellness, come on over. I got two. I got Dolce and Lay, which is my natural and organic skincare line. And then I have Wake Up Happy Sis, which is all this happiness and glow up that we give you on a Monday, plus more. You can head on over to wakeuphappysis.com and check me out. And you can check out our other podcast episodes, become a subscriber, because we do this every week. This is our thing. And I think we're pretty damn good at it.
Yes.
What's your
So I want to thank y'all for coming. It has been wonderful. And what is our topic next Monday? Next week, we're going to be, we're keeping up with the romantic theme, but this is reviving the fire, keeping romance alive while pursuing your ambitions. Because, we love ourselves, but we all want to be loved.
Yes.
Right? We want to love and be loved. So that's what we're talking about next week. So make sure you come and check us out. You can head on over to Brownstone Worldwide to learn more about the other lineup of shows that are available. And to just, get more involved in what we're doing everywhere. So I want y'all to have a great day. Actually, let me rephrase that. Have the day you were meant to have, because you get to control it. I truly believe that.
Yes.
So, and we'll talk to you next time. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Wake Up Happy Sis on KCCR The Brownstone.